I am on so much caffeine. This is about to be the greatest mock draft of all time. I apologize if you can hear the dryer in the background. You shouldn't be able to, but if you can, I'm sorry. And this is not a simulated lottery mock draft. I've done that in the past. That was my last one. I'm going to do it next time. But for now, we're going to do the most likely teams to win the lottery to have won the lottery. Pick one, the Washington Wizards. They get AJ Dybansta. Every time the Wizards have gotten the number one pick in a mock draft of mine, I have always picked Dybansta. One, he is arguably, if not the best prospect in the draft. Amazing scorer, has a lot of defending potential, has playmaking potential. He didn't really show it at BYU, in my opinion, but I think he can develop that. He looks like he has all the tools and all the want to be great. Mentality is like half of the game in terms of like how good the prospect will be. It is super unpredictable how good any of these guys will be. All you can go off is the tools, and Dybansta has all the tools. And then just fit-wise, this Wizards team is a team that next season should be competing for the playoffs. So I understand you never want to draft someone based on fit, but if there ever is a time, it might be this Wizards team, and you have Trae Young, this, ultimate offensive playmaker, all that. AD, rim protector, can also score, but you need a number one scoring guy, in my opinion, especially for the future, and that is Dybansta. Pick two, Indiana Pacers, also a team that is probably going to be trying to compete next year, which is really sad. I do kind of wish that the Kings and the Nets are the two teams to get the top two picks, because those are actually bad teams, and I always root for the actual bad teams to be winning the lottery, but in this case, they didn't. Indiana Pacers, they're getting Darryn Peterson. I love Darryn Peterson. I think he's the best prospect on the board. And I love the idea of a Tyrese Halliburton and Darryn Peterson backcourt. I mean, you talk about Darryn Peterson I think he's very underrated defensively. I think he can be a really good defender. I've seen like Kawhi Leonard comps. I definitely don't think that or anything, but like, I just wouldn't be surprised if he was all defensive second team one year. He has all the tools to do it. And then his play style is built for the Pacers. He's a guy who can play really fast. He can beat people off the dribble, but he can just shoot over them. He's a 6'5" guard who can consistently shoot over people. I just think he has so much potential. And then for this Pacers team, you get to have Andrew Nembhard now coming off the bench, or if you want to bench Nesmith. I mean, think about the guys who really thrive in this Indiana offense, like a guy like Aaron Nesmith. I could see Darryn Peterson being just a really good version of that. I like the comp of him for Ray Allen, and getting Ray Allen with the second overall pick, really good to me. Pick three, Brooklyn Nets, and they need someone to really build around, and it's between two guys, Caleb Wilson or Cam Boozer. And me personally, I'm a guy who I like Caleb Wilson over Cam Boozer. I just think that defensively, he has so much more upside. And then, I mean, Caleb Wilson's like three-point shot is definitely not nearly as good as Boozer's, but I think he can develop it. I love how the mid-range looks from Caleb Wilson. And even with the injury, I just think he has so much more potential. I just love the defensive tools, and I love the athleticism. He's more athletic than Boozer, and I do think Boozer will still be good in the NBA. But I'm going to go Caleb Wilson. And I think he is someone who is a little bit more of a project than Boozer, and the Nets have time to develop a project. I think the overall ceiling's a lot higher. I just love everything Caleb Wilson brings. And for this Nets team, they just need best player available. In my opinion, that's Caleb Wilson. And then with pick four, the Utah Jazz select Cameron Boozer. I actually do think if this actually happens, they end up trading this pick either up for like someone like Dybansta or Peterson, or down, and they select, like a guard to come off the bench. Because I don't really Boozer's not going to get to, Boozer's a really good talent. Like, he is a top tier prospect, and him sliding to four is just, it just shows how good of a draft class this is. I think he'd have to come off the bench, because I just don't know if you can start him over Lauri Markkanen or Jaren Jackson Jr. or Walker Kessler, unless you want to start Jaren at the 5, but I hate that. But yeah, overall, amazing, playmaking talent. He can dominate inside. He can hit the open three. I just don't know how consistently can he be an offensive star when he does not have the defensive tools. I don't think he'll be the worst defender ever. I see him in like the likes of Sengun, where he can kind of slide his feet a little bit, but like he's not going to be making plays. He's not going to be getting a lot of steals. He's not going to be getting a lot of blocks. It's going to be like consistent defense with not that high of a ceiling. And yeah, I don't know. If I'm the Jazz, I know you just gave up a bunch of pieces in the Jaren Jackson Jr. trade, but if you can trade up for one of the top three guys, or top two guys, in my opinion, in Peterson and Dybansta, I think you do that. At pick 5, unfortunately, it is the Sacramento Kings. I wish they did get a higher pick, but here you go, Darius Acuff Jr. He has, in my opinion, he has the tools to be a decent defender. And offensively, he is probably you could argue he's the best offensive player in this whole draft. 6'3", averaged like 25 points per game in the SEC, 7-8 assists, dominated March Madness, dominated the regular season, dominated conference play. I understand the concerns of people saying defensively, he's like the worst defensive prospect ever. Huge exaggeration, by the way, but he has the tools to be decent. He's not as small as Trae Young. He's larger than him, and Trae Young is a defensive liability. And I guess seeing how successful the Hawks are right now, you don't want to draft a guy like him. But let's say worst case, he is Trae Young. Trae Young's still a good player. If you were paying Trae Young $9 million, $10 million a year, which you'd be getting in Acuff in those first 4 years, then you absolutely love him. It's just that, like, eventually, do you want to pay a guy like that $50 million a year or $45 million a year? Probably not. But I think his defensive, he's going to be a better defender than Trae Young. I think the Kings kind of just need anything they can get. I don't think they should be trying to, base it around fit. But even if they are, they kind of need a legitimate point guard, and that's going to be him. Let him make all the mistakes possible. I mean, let him go the Trae Young route where, the Hawks had nothing when they drafted Trae Young. And it's going to be the same thing with the Kings. I don't know if they'll get rid of a guy like Sabonis, like DeRozan, like Levine. Even with them, Acuff should be the number one priority on offense. At pick 6, it is the Atlanta Hawks with the Pelicans pick. And listen, every single mock that I've had them this low, I have had them taking Mikel Brown Jr. I'm going to switch it up with someone who I think is nearly just as good as a prospect. I'm going Labaron Philon Jr. This dude is a hooper. He should have been in the draft last year at around like pick 15. But he chose not to. It was a very talented class last year, and he just proved that he could be even better. He is a sophomore, but he's pretty much the age of a freshman. There's some freshmen that are older than Philon, actually. And I think he has the potential to be a decent defender, and offensively, he is a star. He is a guy who I want to replace CJ McCollum. Not that I don't want the Hawks to sign CJ McCollum or re-sign him, but I think eventually, CJ's getting older. He doesn't fit the age group of the rest of the Hawks. And a little bit, you go for fit. I think fit-wise, he's not a total liability like an Acuff, because I don't want Acuff on the Hawks. If you didn't know, I'm a Hawks fan. But he's not this elite defender, but he's so good offensively. And I think the Hawks need a guy like that, even with Nikhil going crazy, even with Jalen Johnson going crazy. At pick 7, we have the Memphis Grizzlies, and this is a little bit of fit, a little bit of talent. I like them going Keaton Wagler. I think he showed amazing things in this tournament run, leading his team to the Final Four. He was consistently good offensively for sure. He plays at his own pace. I think it would be a good change of pace from John Morant, who plays the game so fast. And maybe you want to fit the John Morant style, but I think even the Grizzlies front office recently, they admitted that Ja is not like a franchise cornerstone for them. And Wagler just plays it at his own pace. He has elite footwork, elite handling. He does his thing. He can shoot threes. He can play off ball. He can play on ball. He can do a lot of different things. I think NBA wise, I understand that, someone pointed out he hasn't dunked a single time this season. You don't need to dunk to be successful in the NBA. I'm sorry. Like he as long as you're a good playmaker, as long as you're a good shooter and you can finish inside and you can, defend your own, you will be just fine. At pick 8, Dallas Mavericks. And you know what? In the past mock drafts, when I've thought about the Mavericks, I've thought that they need the point guard for the future. And that might be the case because Cooper Flag is so young. But also right now, they do have Kyrie Irving. So I wanted to go someone who could play a little bit of the 1, a little bit of the 2, has still a good ceiling. And some people even compare him to Derek White. I'm going Brayden Burries. I mean, leading his team to the Final Four. He's been amazing. He kind of plays at his own pace as well. He hits open threes. He just makes winning plays. He's a good defender, arguably the second best defending guard prospect in this draft class. Just overall winner. I really do think he would benefit playing with Cooper Flag. I think Cooper Flag will get him open. And then playing with a good defender is going to help Cooper Flag out a lot. Help him be a roamer, good off-ball player. You have Derek Lively. And then Kyrie Irving isn't the worst defender ever. This Dallas Mavericks defense should be good in the upcoming years, like it was supposed to be this year and has not been. At pick 9, we have the Chicago Bulls, and I'm going with a guy who I've never even had in the lottery, but I've been watching a lot of his game. He just won a national championship, playing amazing. I'm going Aday Mara for the Bulls. The Bulls need a center. They haven't had a legitimate, young, promising center since Wendell Carter 9 years ago. I'm giving them Mara, 7'3". He can play in the post. He's an amazing playmaker for a center, amazing rim protector. I don't really see what's wrong with him other than him being a little bit older. I mean, he was supposed to be a top 10 guy in the draft 2 years ago, and then I think he's been slow to develop. He also played at UCLA, so he really showed what he was capable of at Michigan, getting these extra games in as they've been winning, and it's been because of him and obviously a couple other guys in Michigan. I think he's great. I think he is, and the Bulls have so many promising young guards that I don't even want them to draft a guard. I know, like, it's not like these guards are good enough where you want to draft fit. Like if there's an amazing guard remaining, which I kind of think there is, they should go after him. But I'm just scared that guard won't develop. So I'm going to go with a guy who should get the starting spot from day one, Aday Mara. And then the Bucks got pick 10. And I think they just go for talent. I don't know what's going to happen with Giannis. Hopefully when they trade him, they get a promising forward, promising big. But I'm going just straight up talent, straight up ceiling, Mikel Brown Jr. A little bit, he kind of concerns me with the back injuries, but other than that, he plays like Damian Lillard. He'll shoot from the logo. He's an amazing playmaker. He holds his own on defense. I actually think he could be an above average defender for a guard. I think he has so much potential, and I think he would be amazing next to Ryan Rollins for the future. I understand you have KPJ, but again, this is just talent. We're not drafting around KPJ, and we're not drafting around Giannis. At pick 11, the Golden State Warriors draft Hans Steinbach or Haynes. I'm pretty sure it's Hans. When I've watched this dude play live, this dude is a board machine. I watched a game where he had like 27 boards and like 20 points. I mean, just dominates that area, and that's something the Warriors need. Wemby didn't even try the other night, and he scored 41 against the Warriors. And Steve Kerr's like, oh yeah, I got a game plan. And the game plan was just to like leave Wemby open from mid-range because they didn't have the size to guard him. And Steinbach isn't 7'4", but he's still going to do his thing. He can score inside. He's not the worst free throw shooter ever, and he can still improve in that part. And he's a decent rim protector, but he can get rebounds. And that's something they need, especially getting rid of Looney. He's a similar enough center to him. I think he has a little bit of potential. I'm pretty sure he's a sophomore. No, he's a freshman. But yeah, 7 foot. This is just a good fit for the Golden State Warriors. At pick 12, I have the Portland Trailblazers selecting Yaxel, Lendeborg. The Blazers should be competing next year. They should. They're going to have Damian Lillard, Drew Holiday. Hopefully Scoot Henderson could develop. Denny Avdia. Kamara, Klingon has been amazing. This is a team that should be a legitimate playoff team next year, not just play in. And I think Yaxel Lendeborg has proven, maybe in that last game, he definitely struggled, but he has proven how good he can be consistently in terms of footwork, three-point shooting, defense for sure. I mean, even he can make the right playmaking wise. Again, in that national championship, he was forcing threes, he was forcing bad shots, but he was still playing good defense. And you can't hate on a guy for playing bad in the national championship. That is one of the hardest games to win in terms of nerves, in terms of everything, and even to just get there. He has been absolutely carrying that Michigan squad. And Portland, I like Kamara, I do, but also they could use a backup for. And do they want to pay Jeremy Grant 25, 30 million a year? Probably not. So I just think fit-wise, this is really good. Do they need a guy with a high ceiling? No. Their high ceiling guy is Scoot Henderson. Their high ceiling guy is a guy like Klingon already. I think they have a bunch of high ceiling guys. They just need someone to play their role. At pick 13, I know you guys are wondering where he is. I'm having the Miami Heat draft. I forgot his name for a second. Kingston Flemings out of Houston. Amazing guard. Plays at his own pace. Good defender. Good rebounder. Good playmaker. The three-point shot kind of concerns me. I know he shot 39% from three, but I don't know. His self-creation kind of scares me, but he seems like a guy who would really fit Heat culture. And I didn't just have him drop because I think this is the perfect fit. I really do think there's other guards who are better than Flemings consistently. Like he isn't Davion Mitchell. He isn't a lockdown point guard. And, he's not this amazing scorer in my opinion, but he would fit just like Davion Mitchell. Actually, yeah, I didn't even realize Davion is playing for the Heat. Just like Davion Mitchell is thriving in Miami, I think Flemings would thrive even more as the starting point guard for the future. Have Hero play next to him. Good defender. They're going to have Kel'el Ware, Bam Adebayo, good defenders, Wiggins, all that. I just think this is a high ceiling pick because I think Flemings can be really good and just fit-wise, amazing. And pick 14, it's the Grizzlies again with someone's pick. I think it's the Orlando Magic's because they have been pretty bad recently. They already got Keaton Wagler, so I'm going to go with a forward or a big, and I chose forward. I'm going Koa Peat. I think if Koa Peat is going to thrive on any team, in my opinion, it will be the Memphis Grizzlies and how, fast they can run. He's going to play with a guy who can throw him lobs and John Morant and, for the future, Keaton Wagler. One is not athletic at all, and Koa Peat is all athleticism. He does scare me as an actual prospect because outside of, scoring around the rim, he doesn't really show me much at all. But defensively, he is amazing. I think him and Edey defensively, if Edey can just stay on the court, amazing fit. And I just think he has a lot of potential. Actually, I saw an article by ESPN that he is one of those guys who might even stay in college. And I'm not going to say it's the worst thing ever, but I don't know how high he's going to go next draft, even though next draft is kind of weak. But yeah, all around, I think he'd be a great fit next to John Morant, next to Wagler, next to Edey, and the Grizzlies would be doing good things for their rebuild for sure. So yeah, that's my mock draft. I'm only doing the lottery. Either next draft or the draft after that, I'm going to start doing the entire first round, but I do need to start, watching these international guys to see how they've been doing because I have not been keeping up with that at all. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed, if you could leave a like, that would be amazing. I really want to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of April or even, by the playoffs would be great. Seems a little unrealistic, but yeah, I really enjoyed doing this. I enjoy doing these videos. And if you have anything you agreed or disagreed with, or if, I talked about your favorite team and you don't like the way I talked about him or did, if you could leave a comment, that'd be great. And yeah, peace out.